Chief Medical Officer Vornash had seen death before. In his 40 cycles serving the Confederation fleet, he'd pronounced dozens of crew members beyond saving. But this one hurt differently. The young Veloxian engineer, Piptel, had been like a son to him. The plasma conduit explosion had torn through Piptel's thoracic cavity, severing major arterial pathways and rupturing 2 of his 3 respiratory chambers. Green blood pooled beneath the medical table as Vornash worked frantically, his 6 manipulator arms moving with desperate precision. Cardiovascular collapse imminent, the medical AI announced coldly. Survival probability, 0%. Vornash's primary heart sank. By Confederation medical protocols, the wound was categorically fatal. No known procedure could repair damage this extensive before total system failure. He'd seen this exact injury pattern 17 times in his career. 17 deaths. "I'm sorry, Piptel," Vornash whispered, preparing to administer the mercy compound that would ease the young engineer's passing. "Wait." A voice cut through the medical bay's alarm klaxons. Dr. Rebecca Chen burst through the doorway, still in her off-duty clothes, her medical kit slung over one shoulder. The human physician had only been assigned to the ship 3 weeks ago, and most crew still regarded her species' medical practices with skepticism. "Don't give up on him yet," Rebecca said, her dark eyes scanning the monitors. "Dr. Chen, with respect, this injury is beyond treatment. I've seen it before. The damage is fatal by your protocols, yes. But humans have dealt with trauma like this for centuries." She was already pulling on surgical gloves, her movements quick and confident. Arterial bypass, emergency oxygenation, synthetic vessel grafts. "We can save him." Vornash hesitated. Human medicine was notoriously aggressive, sometimes barbaric by Confederation standards. They cut, they transplanted, they forced bodies to survive through sheer mechanical intervention. It went against everything he'd been taught about respecting the natural order. But Piptel was dying. "Tell me what you need," Vornash said. The next 3 hours were a blur of organized chaos. Rebecca's hands moved with surgical precision, calling out instructions that seemed impossible. She bypassed the damaged arteries with synthetic tubes, manually oxygenated blood using a device she called a bypass pump, and grafted biocompatible mesh over the torn respiratory chambers. "In human emergency medicine, we have a saying," Rebecca said, her voice steady despite the stress. "They're not dead until they're warm and dead. We don't give up while the brain still lives." Vornash found himself adapting, his 6 arms working in concert with Rebecca's 2. She explained techniques developed in human wars, disasters, accidents, a species that had learned to cheat death through necessity and stubborn refusal to accept the inevitable. Cardiovascular function stabilizing, the medical AI announced, its tone somehow surprised. Respiratory chambers regenerating. Survival probability, 43% and rising. By the 5th hour, Piptel's vitals had stabilized. The young Veloxian would need weeks of recovery, but he would live. Vornash stared at the monitors in disbelief, then at the human doctor who was calmly cleaning her instruments. "How did you know that would work?" Rebecca smiled tiredly. "Because humans are fragile, Dr. Vornash. We had to learn how to save each other from the impossible, or we would have died out long ago. We don't accept fatal, we fight it." Vornash looked at Piptel's sleeping form, chest rising and falling steadily, and felt something shift in his understanding. Humans weren't just durable, they were survivors who had turned that survival instinct into an art form. "Would you," he said slowly, "be willing to teach our medical staff these techniques?" Rebecca's smile widened. "I thought you'd never ask."